we're just back, and let's talk about superheroes. Mainly their origins. Or, you know what, fuck it, let's just talk about superheroes in general.
Okay. Are we talking about like superheroes on the one storyline, or are we gonna just jump from storyline to storyline until they get what's going on?
Well, you're more into superhero comics than I am. I'm more into graphic novels like 30 Days a Night and all that shit, so I think we just start off with whatever you think is best.
I mean, okay, let's first establish this, guys. Okay, we say superheroes, and we mean superheroes, like in every sense of the word superhero.
Not just the Avengers.
Not exactly, thank you. Not just the Avengers, not just Justice League, because there's people out there that are like, oh, I'm such a big fan of superheroes.
Name 5 that are not mainstream. And they'll probably just name maybe one, and that's because they have a friend who's into it.
Exactly, and it's like, okay, guys, we appreciate the fact that you guys are watching the movies. We appreciate that you guys are really getting into this. Girlfriends, we appreciate that you go with your boyfriends to put up with our craziness. Trust me, I'm speaking from experience. My girlfriend goes through this every time we're watching a superhero movie.
How many have you watched with her?
Justice League, Thor Ragnarok,
Black Panther.
What else? Oh, I put it through Thor, Captain America, both movies. And it's
Don't
always...
you mean all 3?
Well, all 3.
Because remember, it is Civil War is under Captain America, so but still, yeah.
3. And it's okay for you to say that you like superheroes, but don't just stick to those guys. Don't just stick to Thor, Captain.
You're just gonna be a bandwagon fan. You're not gonna be taken serious.
Yeah, they're gonna label you. Even at Comic Con, they'll
label. I can't believe you fucking graduated and I didn't. You can't even say a fucking simple word.
I haven't eaten. What do you want from me? You know how I get when I don't eat. And so, like I said, it's not that we're against it, but guys, don't just go to those 5 guys. Same thing for DC. Don't just associate superheroes with Justice League. Do most superheroes in the DC universe join Justice League? Yes. But it's more like an in and out kind of business. Sometimes they're there, sometimes they're not. It's the same thing with the Avengers. Some of the superheroes we know about join the Avengers, are part of the Avengers for a certain part of time.
And for certain reasons. They're not. Some of them aren't even Avengers because they want to be. Some of them have to be. Like, isn't Ant-Man an Avenger because he was forced to?
It's more like he wants to prove something to himself that he's better than everybody. And we are talking about the first Ant-Man. We're not talking about the guy that stole the suit and the guy after that.
Who was the first Ant-Man?
Pym.
Well, I mean, how did he get the suit, though?
He made it himself.
Oh, shit.
Pym worked with things called something particles. I can't remember the name right now. Well, technically they're called Pym particles because he found them. Yeah. He found them, and so he made the Ant-Man suit, which later gets stolen by some other guy, and then that guy gives the suit away to this guy who thinks he deserves to be Ant-Man. Superheroes in general are just sometimes confusing. Like I said, girls, if you're watching things with your boyfriend, don't get mad whenever he corrects you on some things. Because for comic book people, it's like our thing.
It's like their religion, pretty much.
Like, it's okay. Sometimes you guys don't know what's going on. You ask questions. And that's okay.
But then again, there are some guys who are complete assholes and they just tear their girl a new asshole.
Yeah, again, if you're with those type of guys, I don't know what to tell you.
Fucking leave. Unless you're used to calling the cops every now and then.
I mean, people like me and my girlfriend, she'll ask something and I'll explain the best I can, and then I'll ask her to watch the movie. And if she has any questions afterwards, I'll try to explain after. And I tell her, and I'm going to tell you, don't think that just because we explain it a certain way, it's going to be that way forever. Comic books change a lot. They can go from one thing to the next, and it's like, it's still the same story, but it's taking place in a different universe, at a different time, in a different place, with a different person.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing about comic books. It's never one... I mean, yes, there's comic books that follow one storyline.
Like which one?
I mean, it depends on the storyline. Like the Avengers have their own storyline, which then diverts into like Planet Hulk or uh, Ragnarok
Yeah.
or
Civil War.
Civil War, Civil War Two. What if the Civil War never ended?
Those are actual storylines.
Yeah, yeah. There's again comic books that touch on like a personal character and its traits. For example, Batman the day the first Robin, well not the first Robin, but one of the Robins died,
Which one was it? Jason Todd?
Jason Todd, which later becomes Red Hood.
But how does he come back though?
Lazarus Pit from what's his name?
Razago?
Yeah.
You can't try to say his name.
Naruto.
Oh, last time you said it all weird.
Yeah.
No, but I don't get it though in the game Arkham Knight, because apparently that game is canon too. He doesn't die. Joker actually tortures him until he breaks his mind and spirit, and
That's a different.
but it's still canon. So
Yeah, but that's a different. That actually does happen,
oh,
but it's not the same.
okay,
It's a different Robin. I can't remember his name.
it's Jason Todd.
Not-
It's Jason
I know
Todd.
they say it's Jason Todd. It's not Jason Todd, guys. I'm tired of explaining. I'm not tired of explaining, but it is a point in time where Joker and Harley are so desperate to have a child that they kidnap one of the Robins, torture him to point break, and then turn him into a mini Joker.
What the fuck?
Yes. If you guys watch Batman Forever, the movie, The Return of the Joker,
Batman Forever?
yeah, or Batman Beyond, whatever you want to call it.
No, because Batman Forever. Which one are you talking about? The movie that came out in theaters, the Tim Burton one, or is there a cartoon one, like an animated one?
It's Batman for Beyond, Batman Beyond,
Okay.
and it's actually called Batman Beyond: The Return of the Joker. And Joker explains how he's able to come back because he created this little microchip and he implanted it on that particular Robin. I can't remember his name right now.
Let's see. Well, it was Tim Drake, Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, and his son,
I think it was Tim Drake.
Tim Drake.
I think so. I'm not completely sure on that, guys.
Who's the one that had like the staff? Because I know each one had their own weapon. I know Dick had the electric shocks. His son had the sword.
Jason had the staff.
Jason had really?
Yeah, Jason had the staff.
And-
No. I mean, if you want to base it off Teen Titans,
No. I want to base it off like
because in Teen Titans, the Robin that's actually running the Teen Titans is Dick. So and he has staff. So we could say it's Dick.
Robin.
But like you said, you're right. Each
Robin had their own signature weapon.
because I think Jason Todd's with marbles.
Yeah. Marbles?
Mm-hmm.
Like marbles?
Yeah, they're not like marbles and like playing marbles. They're like marbles for you to trip on.
oh, okay, like booby traps.
Yeah, booby trap.
Home Alone style.
Yeah, pretty much. If you want to follow that storyline, it pretty much leads to, the whole creation of Batmans
Yeah.
all over the world at the end.
Isn't that how Batman Beyond starts when there's Batman's everywhere?
No, Batman Beyond is
Like the cartoon, not the movie.
oh no, Batman Beyond is more like Bruce is still alive, but he's like
Old as fuck.
old as fuck. And then the guy that becomes the new Batman is pretty much a clone of Bruce.
I thought it was some guy he adopted or some shit.
No, it's a clone of Bruce.
Oh.
You know that lady from Suicide Squad?
Which lady? The black lady?
Yeah, the black lady.
Michelle Waller?
Yeah, her.
What about her?
She actually becomes she tells the new Batman the truth
What did she tell him?
that he's actually a clone
Oh.
that was pretty much Bruce rented out
A uterus.
a uterus because everyone he cared about pretty much died.
Even Damien?
No, but Damien was kind of like
Fuck this.
yeah. I mean, Ross's daughter died. Catwoman died.
Joker died.
Mm. Well, first he became sane, then he died.
Doesn't he become a good guy at one point? Joker? Doesn't he stop being the Joker at one point?
He becomes the laughing Batman.
So that one's real?
Yeah.
I thought it was just like a fan made.
He's the laughing Batman. Or the Batman that laughs. Which is actually really, really scary if you stop to think about it.
Is it the one that's pink, no, purple and green all over? I thought it was called the Imposter Batman.
No. That's when he wants to pretend that he's Batman and goes around. But actually, the Batman that laughs is actually like he wears the cape and cowl, but kind of Jokerish.
I gotta see that. It looks pretty bad.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if you want to watch a bunch of new movies that came out recently, Suicide Squad, Hell to Pay.
Yeah, I saw that.
Gotham by I think it was Lamplight. I can't remember. Something. The new Batman Samurai.
That one doesn't look very appealing to me.
At first, it doesn't, but you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. Trust me. Once it comes out, you gotta watch it. And they're gonna come out with a new version of the Death of Superman.
Doomsday?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean new version?
It's pretty much a better version. The point here and the rant here is pretty much, guys, if you really want to become a superhero fan, if you want to really take
Start from the source.
Start from the beginning. Start with Spider-Man. Start with the Fantastic Four. Static Shock.
Oh yeah, I forgot he was a superhero.
Static Shock.
Did he ever join the Justice League or the Teen Titans or whatever?
Yeah, he joined the Justice League.
What storyline? Injustice?
I can't remember, but I know he joins. I mean, if you really are not into superheroes, but you still want to be thought as a superhero fan, try the dark heroes. You know, Spawn,
Deadpool, Anti-Hero,
Punisher,
Venom. He's got a new movie coming out. I can't wait for that shit.
Venom. I mean, there's a
Carnage. No, Carnage is the villain, right?
Carnage stays the villain.
Hellboy.
Like I said, there's a lot to go on, so you got material to work on. I mean, that's pretty much it on my end.
Now, if graphic novels are the way you want to go, just tell me. I got 30 Days a Night. I love all. There's only 3 issues: 30 Days a Night, 30 Days a Night, Dark Days, and Return to Barrow. The first 2 have made become a movie. Have you seen 30 Days a Night?
Mm-hmm.
It's badass, right?
Yeah.
It's incredibly, completely accurate to the movie. I mean, to the comic, graphic novel. The second one was bullshit. I completely hated it. I disowned that movie. I hate it so much. The third one, I don't know why I never got a movie. But it's basically, if I'm pretty sure you haven't read those, have you?
No, I haven't.
Well, since you've seen the first one, it's a complete. If you watch the movie,
it goes off the
main source. Even the fucking angles on how the frames look.
I like when they do that. Honestly, I do when a movie likes to do that.
Like how Captain America took some of the scenes from the movies, like whenever they're marching and whenever they fight. Yeah. That's exactly what 30 Days a Night does. I'm gonna buy a copy of the graphic novel, and I'm gonna put the movie on and show you like exactly what part copies what. It's gonna be completely accurate.
I mean, besides 30 Days a Night, there's The Walking Dead. There's a bunch.
I really can't think of any.
There's a bunch.
Off the top of my head,
and if you really want to get into it, and you're like, you know what, I'm tired of the American heroes, I'm tired of home base, there's manga you can read. There's tons and tons of things you guys can read and be acquainted with as far as superheroes go.
Years of War also has their own comics.
Another thing. Like I said, guys, please don't take this the wrong way, but it gets kind of annoying the fact that you call yourself a hero fan and all you can mention are Thor, Iron Man, Captain, Hulk.
Well, in Iron Man's defense, he really wasn't that much known before Iron Man movie. The only reason I knew about him was because of the 90s cartoon that had all the fucking Marvel characters. I forget what it was called. And because I used to play Marvel Ultimate Alliance, so.
I mean, the only thing every time I read Iron Man was because I was reading the issues where he's having problems with his alcoholism.
Is that when you were going through a phase or something?
No, this was something came up. But like I said, guys, and the final point here is, please go out and read comics and study up on them and find a hero that you know you like, but is not mainstream.
And another thing, the version that comes out in movies is not always the original version. I mean, it never is. I mean, it has some elements from the original story, but it's either due to legal reasons or copyright reasons. It's not gonna be 100% accurate. So don't think you know everything about a superhero just because you watched the first movie that came out. You really gotta do your research.
I think that's pretty much it as far as that goes.
I mean, we could say the same thing about Star Wars, but then again, it goes into it.
Yeah.
It's more difficult to explain about that because now the old canon is known as Legends. It's confusing. I'm gonna touch it just a small part because it's confusing as fuck and it's gonna take longer than I wanted to. Basically, the old canon is now called Legends. I'm not sure if they're gonna re-release everything that was released before, just with like the same frame, same storyline, but under the name Legends. I don't know if they are, but pretty much I think it's two different universes now. It's confusing as fuck.
Yeah, it's gonna get confusing.
Like, I mean that's a smart way to save it, but it's also it's in my opinion it's unoriginal. And the reason you know if you're reading a Star Wars Legends or the original is made by Dark Horse Comics. It's not gonna be called Star Wars Legends. It's just gonna be called like what was the one we saw at the bookstore? Path of the Jedi.
Yeah, Path of the Jedi.
That was made by Dark Horse. That's an original one. This one, the new ones, they're made by Marvel. So that's a telltale sign. That's an easy sign to know if you're reading a new one or an old one.
Not to mention that they have a dinosaur in the back, apparently shooting guns.
Oh, that's because that's from GameStop. You know how
No, that's what I'm saying. I mean, if you go to GameStop and you see this, you're getting a Marvel copy. Don't get fooled. Don't.
I mean, it's still good. It's a good story.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying, like, guys, if you want the original thing, go out to like, Bedrock City,
half price book, DNA Comics is right here by 15. I don't know if that's international or if that's just local. I don't know, but there's a comic book store close.
I mean, guys,
DNA
go
Comics.
on Google and look up your personal comic book store. Amazon. I mean, not Amazon. Hulu is opening a new thing for comics and manga.
Get the fuck up.
Yeah, it's called Comic Contract or something, but it's a bunch of comics. Can't remember if it's Hulu or it's one of those things that you go out and you buy Amazon, Hulu, something like that. But yeah, they're having their own thing. And guys, trust me, once you open one of these things,
you get hooked.
It's really hard to put down.
Yeah. I know this fucking. I just had this for not even a year, and I know this line by line.
Not to mention that if you're lucky enough to find certain copies, you keep them lying up, you take care of them, you turn them back around.
You can get.
It's in the millions sometimes. I mean, how much did that lady make? The lady we went to clean the house for.
Oh yeah, about 2 years ago. My dad he painted what my dad does for work is he spray paints the address on people's driveways, and he did it for a man. About a week and a half later, or I think a little less, he passed by that house again. And they were emptying shit out. Turns out that man died about 2 or 3 days before. So if my math is correct, he died about 3 days after the old man did the job. So, and my dad, like, he didn't know whether to feel sad or not feel anything because he hardly knew the man. So, his son asked my dad if he were willing to help him clean up the house, like clean everything out, because they were gonna renovate the house and shit. And he wanted to pick me up so I can go help him. And the next day was when you came over, right?
Yeah.
The next day he came over and we were cleaning up the house, and we find, I shit you not, a fucking army issue duffel bag filled to the brim with comics. All kinds of comics: Star Wars, Marvel, DC, Dark Horse, Image. Any kind of comic you can think of.
You know what the funny thing was? When I saw them, I saw brands that were actually out the market.
swear.
I saw a couple, but that's why I was wondering if they were gonna throw them away.
Yeah.
Because I knew what I was looking at. I'm not saying I'm a connoisseur. I'm not saying I'm an expert, but I know what I was looking at.
Yeah.
They were spending on a good amount of money.
You really want to know how much they made?
Yes.
All of them? Over $200,000.
I told you. I told you. Didn't I tell you? And the worst thing, guys, is the fact that if I know something, I let him know right away.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to take advantage of this family.
No, because they said if you find something you like, you can first you can ask it. If no one wants it, you can keep it. And I was in the like, you know those long ass dumpsters where you just dump in fucking furniture and shit. I was breaking up furniture so we can make space. And fat ass over here starts running like immigrations after him, saying, "Come on, get your ass over here, get over here." I'm like, "What?" He takes me to the room, to the closet where the fucking duffel bag is. He opens that bitch up, and it's just fucking dusty and shit. The old man had him for a long time. You can tell he had him for a while. Yeah, they ended up making a little over $200,000.
Yeah, I remember because the lady, somebody's wife asked me, "What am I looking at?" And I told her, "The comic books." And honestly, guys, I wanted to keep some of them because I knew what they were worth.
Yeah.
But not because I wanted to sell them or not because I wanted to take advantage of the family, but that's because there were comic books there that I hadn't seen in a long time.
Some of them even ever.
And it was like, you know what? It was worth it if I could keep one or two. But they told me no because they thought it meant a lot to the old man. And they wanted some money to renovate the house.
Yeah.
So I told them. I gave them an estimated... How much did I tell them? About 100? 100? 100? 100?
150.
150 just for some of them.
Yeah.
Not the whole duffel bag. Just for some of them. I think it was...
There was a Spawn one you really wanted. I remember that.
Yes, it was issue number 22.
I don't know. But
Issue 22, and it was clean.
It was still the plastic. That's what surprised me.
And so I told them the truth. I'm like, you got a lot of money here. I'm glad that they sold them.
Yeah.
But that was one of my greatest finds, actually, in that house.
And we weren't even in storage wars. Imagine if we were.
I mean, the old man ended up finding those gold coins, remember?
Oh, yeah. I forgot about those old-ass antique coins from, like, 1950 or some shit. Like, actual legitimate gold coins. They were so awesome. I really wanted one, fool.
He had a box full.
Yeah.
Well, not full, but there were a lot.
It was like, let's see if I have, like, Sorry about I had an incoming call, but George isn't here because we're kind of cooking. I mean, it might be like 1 a.m., but we're hungry as fuck, so fuck you. But yeah, we might tell that story about the old man finding coins, but yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. We might do a reaction to that video George was talking about, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching, fuckers, and catch you fuckers later. ¿Qué hola, culeros? You can see my last video, acá. You can subscribe over here. And you can see all my fucking social medias, aquí abajo. Now, you better fucking watch the last video because you never know, it could have been funny. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share it on Facebook, Twitter, anything you can share it on. So, get to it, fuckers.